Late night baby thoughts once again. Listen, I don't talk so much about being a good person and trying to get better on this channel because I've made it, right? This is not a look at what you can have if you do what I'm saying type of channel. I am a work in progress. I need y'all to understand everybody that is on YouTube is a work in progress. If anybody tells you they're perfect, they're bullshitting you. But specifically me, I say the things I say about being better because I have implemented a lot of those things in my own life, and I've seen how they make me better, not just in terms of money and myself, but also in terms of my relationships with other people. Like, there was a time 4 years ago, before I came back to YouTube, where I I just was so deep in my own self-loathing, like a lot of people are, that I did not have any concept of follow through. I didn't have any concept of standing on my word, of people being able to depend on me. And even then, I had a wife, right? So, like, my wife had to put up with a certain amount from me before I got my own act together. And I say all of that to y'all because I want people to be able to learn from some of the mistakes I made by hearing me talk about what it can do to you, so that hopefully you don't have to make it. Now, some mistakes you got to make on your own. That sometimes that happens. But you got to understand that, like, I am getting better each day. And give you an example. There was a time where I had a friend. We're gonna call him Derek, right? It's not his actual name. But I was supposed to pick this guy up from the airport, and I was so self-absorbed. I drank every day back then, probably depressed, and I just had no sense of responsibility. And I remember completely shrugging off the responsibility that I was supposed to pick him up. And like, there's an example of, like, just terrible friends, so it's completely self-absorbed, completely in my own head, so much to completely not be there for another person. And I remember, oh shit, lights went off. I remember thinking when my daughter was born, soon after that, probably like a couple of years after that, I remember thinking to myself, there's no way I will allow my daughters to grow up believing that they cannot depend on me in the way that I've let other people down. And what children did for me was self-reflection. I've never been someone who lied to myself about what I am, but I've definitely put off my responsibility to fix myself because I would distance myself from the responsibilities of other people. It's easier for people who are not taking care of themselves or not doing what they're supposed to do with their own lives to just not have any friends. Because if you don't have any friends, you don't have to be responsible or beholden to anybody but you. And I was one of those people. Now, I'm still working on that. It is very difficult for me, even today, like Thanksgiving, just did Thanksgiving. It's difficult for me to be in a room full of people. I don't like socializing. But part of that has nothing to do with just not wanting to be around people. It's that I haven't learned how to socially adapt because I've spent so much time on my own. And part of that is just learning to to reacclimate and being okay with the idea that people are going to have expectations of you, and that that you are not necessarily a bad person for being able to say no, finding the right balance between, being social and protecting, your own life. Those things are all things that come from the kind of stuff I'm talking about. For me, it started by being able to financially get myself together and health-wise get myself together, right? Like, if you can get to a point where you like yourself, it's easier to like other people. And that's why I'm so, like, gung-ho on this channel about get your shit together, because it's hard for you to function in a world and have community, like actual community, if you hate yourself. Like, it's almost impossible. And I just realized somewhere along the way that, like, if I was going to be a good example of what responsibility and community and like doing onto others that you want as you want them to do to you, to my daughters, like there's no way I could continue to live a life that was self-absorbed. Now, are there going to be times where I do things for me? Of course I am. That's where the balance comes in. But my whole life can't be that. My whole life cannot be that. I want my daughters to go out into the world, and if they see, like, I want them to expect of the young men that they deal with, that those young men will help old ladies if they see them struggling. How can I expect that of them if when I'm outside and I see two old ladies struggling, I don't go help? What the fuck kind of dad is that? See, it's those moments where, like, it's so easy for you to just say, it's not my issue, it's not my problem, but you take it on anyway because it's the right thing to do. Not because it's convenient for you, but because it's the right thing to do. You got to get in the habit of defining what is right for you. What is the right thing to do, and then living by that. Being unapologetic about what that is. Because if you don't hold your morals, ain't nobody going to hold them for you. And you're going to find yourself placating to what feels good. And when you do what feels good all the time, you will find yourself alone. You will find yourself alone. Because eventually no one's going to want to deal with you. I don't want you all to have to learn that the hard way. I don't want you to have to go through darkness, just complete darkness, and feel like you can't escape in order to get to the point where you realize, you know what? My life is better when I'm serving other people and not just me. My life can be better when I see the good in others and see my worth as a reflection of how I can contribute to a whole, as opposed to me just doing what I like. I've never been happier than when I can sit down on the couch after I've put in a long day for my family. Never felt better. I never felt better than when I went to the store the other day and I saw two ladies who couldn't carry that damn Christmas tree, and I didn't even think about it. I stepped up and just said, hey, do you need some help? They were like, of course, yeah, we'd love some help. And me doing it, just doing it, because that's the right thing to do. Because I wouldn't have done that 4 years ago. The person that forgot to pick that guy up from the airport, he would have said they could figure out some help. They could find their own help. But that's not me now. The me now has 2 daughters. The me now has a family. The me now is realizing the value of community in a way that I didn't see value before. And in realizing that, I realized that other people are important. Other people are important. That doesn't mean that you don't have responsibilities to you. You do. It starts with you. Don't get me wrong. You got to like you first. But once you like you, you're going to find it easier to set your own boundaries. You're going to find it easier to define what is good for you. And I just wanted to share that, man, because I think it's easy to get lost, especially on YouTube, into thinking people are just spreading motivational gibberish, right? Motivational bullshit. And I get that. And a lot of my videos, you could put in that category if you didn't know me as a person. But that's why it's my job to explain to you where that thought process comes from. It's not just, I want you to be good so you have a bunch of money, you can stack it and live on an island somewhere. That's not the point. If you're not doing it for these right here, if you're not doing it for the people that you were up with, for the people that you hold dear, it's not worth anything. It's not worth anything. And for the first time in my life, I'm saying that I genuinely mean it. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. Take what you want from that, but I'm gonna keep making content that speaks to me and speaks to exactly where I'm at in this crazy journey that I am on, because man, there have been some extreme lows and there have been some crazy highs already, and I feel like I'm just getting started on my real grind here. So y'all stay tuned, it's gonna be fun. I'll talk to y'all later.